one of the most respected voices in sports media, went on national television and told the world that Angel Reese only matters because of Caitlin Clark. No filter, no sugarcoating. Dan Patrick looked into the camera and said what millions were thinking, but nobody had the guts to say out loud. And the fallout? It tore the internet in half. But here's the thing nobody expected. What started as a one-sided roast turned into something way bigger than a hot take on a talk show. Because while everyone was picking sides and arguing in comment sections, the real story was unfolding on the court and off it. Career-altering injuries, suspensions, public meltdowns, a Team USA reunion that nobody saw coming, and a brand new deal that's about to change the entire financial landscape of women's basketball forever. This isn't just another Clark versus Reese debate. This is the story of how two rivals reshaped an entire league, whether they wanted to or not. And the twists along the way? Some of them will genuinely catch you off guard. So buckle up, because this goes way deeper than what the headlines told you. It all started with Dan Patrick doing what Dan Patrick does best, saying the quiet part loud. On his show, he flat out stated that Angel Reese's attention and fame are built on the back of Caitlin Clark. Not her own game, not her own highlights. Caitlin Clark. He pointed to the 2000. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And 23 NCAA championship, where Reese taunted Clark after LSU's win by waving her hand and pointing to her ring finger. Patrick's take? Instead of celebrating with her own teammates, Reese made the moment about Clark. And according to him, she's been riding that wave of attention ever since. He didn't stop there. Patrick acknowledged Reese as a good player, sure, but then he dropped the hammer. He said there's nothing about Reese's game that translates to casual viewers, people who don't normally watch women's basketball. He called her a social media personality who leaned into the villain role to stay relevant. Meanwhile, he compared Clark to Steph Curry and Tiger Woods, once-in-a-generation athletes who fundamentally change how people watch their sport. And then came the line that really set things off. Patrick said, and these are his words, that there is no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA. Bold? Absolutely. Controversial? Without question. But Patrick wasn't backing down. And honestly, a lot of people agreed with him, even if they wouldn't admit it publicly. The internet erupted. Reese supporters went after Patrick hard, calling his take disrespectful and dismissive of everything she'd accomplished. Clark fans used it as ammunition, flooding social media with highlight reels and stat comparisons. It became one of those moments where everybody had an opinion, and nobody was changing their mind. And Reese herself didn't stay quiet. She pushed back in interviews and on social media, making it clear she wasn't going to let anyone shrink her narrative. But here's the part that made it all so fascinating. While the world was busy debating who said what, the 2024 WNBA season was already delivering the kind of performances that would make this argument look like a warm-up. And what Caitlin Clark was doing on the court was about to make Patrick's words hit even harder. Let's talk about what actually happened when Caitlin Clark stepped onto a WNBA court for the first time. Because the numbers alone tell a story that's hard to argue with. Clark was named WNBA Rookie of the Year, receiving 66 of 67 votes for the award. That one lone vote, it went to Angel Reese. And if that doesn't perfectly sum up this rivalry, nothing does. She became the first rookie since Candace Parker in 2008, and the fifth rookie in league history to make the All-WNBA first team. Let that sink in. A rookie first team. That almost never happens. And she wasn't just collecting trophies, she was filling arenas and breaking records that had stood for years. Her debut on May 14, 2024, pulled in 2 million viewers. That made it the most-watched WNBA game ever on ESPN. Her very first game. Most players spend years trying to build that kind of audience. Clark did it in one night, and it didn't slow down from there. Every time she stepped on the floor, viewership records fell like dominoes. Then came the game that cemented her rookie legacy. September 8, 2024, Indiana Fever versus the Atlanta Dream. Clark dropped 26 points, dished out 12 assists, and grabbed her 14th double-double of the season, a franchise record she set like it was just another Tuesday at the office. The Fever won 104 to 100 inches overtime, and Clark was the reason why. In the final moments, with the game on a razor's edge and the pressure cranked to the maximum, she stepped to the free throw line and sank 4 straight. No hesitation, no nerves, just ice in her veins. In December 2024, Clark was named Athlete of the Year by Time magazine and Female Athlete of the Year by the AP. She wasn't just the best rookie in the WNBA. She was being recognized as the most impact-that athlete in all of sports. She even appeared in a Nike commercial during the 2025 Super Bowl, Nike's first Super Bowl ad since 1998. Everyone thought the second season would be even bigger. Everyone thought Clark would pick up right where she left off. And, for a brief moment, she did. But what nobody could have predicted was the nightmare that was about to unfold. Caitlin Clark entered her second WNBA season with the kind of hype most athletes only dream about. And she came out swinging. On May 17, 2025, Clark opened her second year with a dominant performance, recording her third career triple-double with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists in the Fever's 93-58 win over the Chicago Sky. Of all teams, the Sky. You can't script this stuff. 4 games into the season, she had averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, and a league-leading 9.3 assists per game. Everything was clicking. The Fever looked dangerous. Clark looked unstoppable. And then it all came crashing down. On May 26, 2025, the Fever announced that Clark had strained her left quadriceps and would be out for at least 2 weeks. For a player who had never missed a game in her entire career, not in 4 years at Iowa, not during her entire rookie season, this was uncharted territory. Clark never missed a game during 4 years at the University of Iowa, or during her rookie WNBA season in 2024. But 3 separate injuries sidelined her for 28 of 41 regular season games. She fought her way back. Clark returned to play on June 14th in the Fever's home win over the New York Liberty, handing the reigning champions their first loss of the season. She led her team with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists with 7 three-pointers made, including 3 consecutive threes in 38 seconds in the first quarter. That's the kind of comeback statement that gives you chills. But the body wasn't cooperating. On June 26th, the Fever announced Clark would miss that day's home game due to a left groin injury, her 6th absence of the season. She returned again, gutted through 4 more games, leading the Fever to a 3-1 stretch. But she suffered a right groin injury in the final minutes of their July 15th game against the Sunday. That was it, the final blow. Clark posted on social media, "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season," she added. "I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling." Despite playing only 13 games, Clark averaged 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 steals. Even broken, she was elite. But with Clark on the sidelines, the spotlight swung to the one person who'd been fighting for it all along. And what Angel Reese did with that spotlight surprised everyone, but not in the way she intended. While Clark was battling injuries, Angel Reese was battling something else, entirely herself. The 2025 season started with fireworks between the two rivals almost immediately. In 2025, the two had a heated exchange after Reese pushed a Fever player in the back. Clark fouled Reese before she went up for a shot, and Reese fell to the ground. Reese got up and got into Clark's face. Referees reviewed the play and upgraded Clark's foul to a flagrant. Both Reese and Aaliyah Boston were issued technical fouls. the tone was set early. On the stat side, Reese was putting up numbers that demanded respect. A two-time All-Star, Reese led the WNBA with 12.6 rebounds per game and 23 double-doubles this season. She became the first player in WNBA history to post multiple double-double streaks of 10 games or more, despite being in only her second season. Those are legitimate, undeniable achievements. But the numbers weren't the whole story. Off the court, things started unraveling. Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese was suspended one game after receiving her 8th technical foul of the 2025 season. 8 techs in one season. That's the kind of emotional volatility that gets people talking for all the wrong reasons. And then the comments came. Reese expressed her disappointment at the Sky's season while urging the front office to bring in great players. She additionally hinted at possibly leaving, saying she'd like to be here for my career, but if things don't pan out, obviously, I might have to move in a different direction. Those words hit like a grenade in the locker room. The Sky suspended Reese for the first half of a game against the Las Vegas Aces after her criticisms were published, citing statements detrimental to the team. The fallout was brutal. Fans and commentators lit up social media with reactions. Some applauded her honesty, others said she crossed the line. Reese apologized, saying she was frustrated with herself and that the language was taken out of context. But by then, the damage was already done. The Sky sat at 10-31 for the season, stuck near the bottom of the WNBA standings. It was a rough look. While Clark was quietly rehabbing and staying out of the drama, Reese was making headlines for everything except winning basketball games. The contrast was impossible to ignore. But just when it seemed like this rivalry had reached a dead end, something nobody predicted happened. These two ended up on the same team. Picture this: two of the fiercest rivals in women's basketball, two players whose fan bases have been at war for years, suddenly wearing the same jersey. That's exactly what happened in March 2026. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buchers were among the players representing Team USA on its 2026 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying roster. The trio, along with Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen, were making their senior national team debuts in Puerto Rico. For Clark, the stakes were deeply personal. When she took the floor against Senegal in Team USA's opener, it was not only her senior national team debut, but her first competitive game in 239 days. Nearly 8 months since she'd played a real game. The questions were loud. Was she healthy? Had she lost a step? Could she still perform at the highest level? The answer came fast. She went off for 17 points and 12 assists in 19 minutes against Senegal and recorded the second most assists ever in a FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying game. That's not shaking off rust. That's a statement. And here's where things got really interesting. Clark and Reese actually showed chemistry on the court. 2 of Reese's points came courtesy of an assist from Clark. The Sky Star battled her way down low. Clark rewarded Reese's effort with a pinpoint pass from an inbound play. Reese finished strong, beating the buzzer in the first quarter. FIBA liked what it saw, posting on social media. Caitlin and Angel on-court chemistry is undisputed. But don't think the tension disappeared completely. Clark appeared to ignore Reese's high-five attempt during Team USA's victory over Puerto Rico, adding fuel to their ongoing rivalry. Fans dissected the clip frame by frame. Some said it was intentional. Others said Clark simply didn't see it. Either way, the internet had a field day. When all was said and done, Clark was named MVP of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, leading Team USA to a 5-0 record while leading the tournament with 6.4 assists per game. She also averaged 11.6 points on 52.9% shooting, proving she's recovered from the injuries that ruined her second WNBA season. As for Reese, she didn't put up big scoring numbers on a team with so much offensive talent, but she was a monster on the glass. Her energy and ability to control the boards are valuable traits in international play. They proved they can coexist. But coexisting for Team USA and competing against each other in the WNBA are two very different things. And the money situation heading into 2026, that's about to add a whole new layer to this rivalry. If you thought the Clark-Reese rivalry was intense on the court, wait until you see what's happening with the paychecks. The WNBA players accepted a proposed 7-year CBA by the WNBA Board of Governors. The CBA includes an increased minimum player salary from $250,000 in 2025 to $270,000, and the salary cap will grow from $1.5 million to $7 million. That's not a raise. That's a revolution. This is the first comprehensive revenue-sharing model in the history of women's professional sports. Let that sink in. The first ever. And one name kept coming up in every conversation about why this deal was even possible: Caitlin Clark. Here's how the numbers break down. The Indiana Fever star made $76,535 as a rookie in 2024 and $78,066 in 2025. Under the old deal, she would have been due $85,973 for her third season in 2026. Instead, she's now set to make $530,000 in 2026. That's a 500% increase. From earning less than a mid-level office worker to pulling $500,000 in a single season. And it gets better. This jump comes thanks to a new CBA provision called EPIC, Exceptional Performance on Initial contract, that fast-tracks high-performing players to max and supermax deals. Because she's already made an all-WNBA team, Clark could see her salary grow to a projected max of $1.3 million in 2027. After that, she could sign for a $1.7 million supermax in 2028. Now here's where it gets spicy. This year, Clark will be paid $527,155, and Reese will be paid $349,571. Those paychecks are both major jumps, but fans have noticed the big difference between the two numbers. That difference is due to new rules that stipulate players get an extra income boost if named to an all-WNBA team in their first or second years. Clark earned that distinction after her rookie season. Whether Reese has something to say about the pay gap remains to be seen. But let's not forget, she was one of the most vocal players pushing for better pay in the first place. On her podcast, she even floated the idea of players sitting out if they didn't get what they wanted. Well, they got it. The question now is whether the on-court results will match the off-court payday. And heading into 2026, both players have more to prove than ever. So, where does all of this leave us? Dan Patrick's words from 2024 still echo in every debate, every comment section, every hot take show. But the landscape has shifted in ways nobody could have predicted. Clark battled through an injury nightmare that would have broken most players, only to come back and dominate on the world stage with Team USA. Reese dealt with suspensions, public fallout, and a losing season, but still put up all-star numbers and proved she belongs. Entering the 2026 season, Indiana will once again lean heavily on Clark as it aims to take another step forward after reaching the WNBA playoff semifinals last year. Expectations are high that Clark can lead the Fever to a championship. Meanwhile, the Fever and Sky will square off for the first of 3 meetings on June 11th. The 30th WNBA season is set to be historic, with 2 new teams joining in the Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo. The real question was never whether Dan Patrick was right or wrong. The real question is whether the WNBA is big enough for both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And based on everything we've seen, the rivalry, the records, the comebacks, the drama, the answer might just be that the league needs them both more than either of them knows. Stay locked in with my channel Simply Explained, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.